You don't know?
No. I'll see it, but I don't know.
Just like last time, I just realized for the people listening on audio podcasts later, I forgot to hit the record button up until this point. So if you're...
Hello, listeners!
Yeah,
Did you hit
this
it
is
yet?
like... I hit it. It's
Hello,
like the beginning of the
listeners,
show
welcome.
for them, but we've been talking for the
This
last...
is definitely the beginning of the show.
We just talked about some Christmas stuff and Lion King.
I'm sweating. Are we going to get to...
Well, you're the one who
soon?
told us to wear
for
these
Creed?
sweaters. Okay. A couple more trailers to go through. We said Dumbo, the Dumbo trailer. I think that looks all right. Were you a big Dumbo fan?
No. I watched it like once as a child.
Okay.
Thought it
Well,
was
I
kinda
think it
weird.
looks kind of cool. It's an elephant who can fly with its ears. Crazy. The Lego Movie trailer, which I'm very
I did
excited.
not even know about that.
The
So
Lego
I'll
Movie 2, the second part.
check it out.
Toy Story 4 teaser.
That's just the teaser, right? Where they're like flying or trampolining or something?
Yeah, but then there's like that a minute or two clip of like two new toys that were voiced by Keegan.
I think I have the
Michael Key.
hiccups.
You have the hiccups?
Oh, that trailer is great.
Yeah. And let's see.
I love that. Yeah, that's a great trailer.
Detective Pikachu trailer.
I didn't
which-
watch the whole thing, but people
very excited.
seem pumped about
Live action Pokemon people. How about that? We finally made it here.
it. Oh, Red Bush.
Red Dead Redemption 2, which is Laura calls Red Bush. That actually came out in October, but it's still the hottest game that people are playing these days. I'm
There's
playing
a
a lot.
lot of murder.
There's a lot of murder. There's a lot of robberies. A lot of train robberies.
I'm watching Outlander. There's also a lot of murder in that.
Lots of murder. Okay, let's move on. Shall we talk about the topics that we're gonna get into
Give
today?
the people what they came
Okay, so I'm gonna move it on to blah. This is Ralph Breaks the Internet, Crimes of Grindelwald, and Creed 2. Do you like my transition sound effect? Oh, blah.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
was just reading our comments. We got a little crown from Lindsay.
Oh, fantastic.
blam!
A blah.
We're starting with Wreck-It Ralph.
We're gonna start with, actually it's not called Wreck-It Ralph, it's called Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ralph Breaks
And
the
then
Internet.
Fantastic Beasts,
Break It
Crimes of Grindelwald, and Creed 2. So these are the three hottest pop culture movies that I really wanted to talk about this
So
one.
hot.
They're so hot. Well, we can get into it. So
I
let's
was
move
looking
back.
at the Creed poster.
You were okay. So let's get into Ralph Breaks the Internet. I'm gonna play a little trailer in the background while we're talking. Laura, how did you like the movie? And you can be honest with the people. What happened? Yeah.
I liked it a
Uh-huh.
lot.
Did you? From what you remember of seeing it,
I fell asleep.
she fell asleep.
I've become the person I hate.
Falling asleep at the theaters. We're old now.
Better than using your phone at the theaters,
That's
though.
right. Oh God. Every single time we've gone to the theaters now, there's been somebody that Laura's really good actually. I'm gonna give her super big props right now. She goes right in there and tells people to stop using their phones, which is very brave of her.
I'd be a really good, like, elementary school teacher. Off your phones, kids.
You told
be
someone today
respectful.
to get off their phones.
Yeah.
Or get off
And you
their
know what he
phone,
did?
singular.
He closed his phone and then opened it again while I was
What
asking
a
him.
freaking ass.
But he didn't use it again for the rest
But
of the
him and his
movie,
buddy
so
were talking this
worth
entire
it.
time. Ugh. Anyways, doesn't matter. We're talking about Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Ralph broke the internet.
And the title came from, remember when Kim Kardashian broke the internet?
Well, everyone's breaking the internet these days. Ariana broke it yesterday. With
Right,
her
but that
video.
term "break the internet" came from Kim Kardashian being like, she's gonna break the internet, and she
Oh,
posted
from that
some.
naked photo of
That's
her?
right. So that's where
I
this.
don't think it came from that. I think she just used it.
No, well, she's the one who did it first. I'm pretty sure.
She did it first?
And then
Oh,
then
yeah.
everyone started using the term "breaking the internet" like that.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways,
I trust you on this.
that's because the entire time people were like, why isn't it called Ralph Wrecks the Internet? Wouldn't that make way more sense? Because it's Wreck-It Ralph. But no.
Break It Ralph.
Break It Ralph now. And did any other thoughts you think about the movie overall other than you liked it, quote unquote?
It looked fun and colorful.
Yeah.
The Disney princess bits were great.
Yeah.
Love seeing my old friends.
Yes.
Love seeing them reclaim their own power and acknowledge the problems with their storylines. Liked that a lot.
I was gonna say, okay, so let's start off a little bit. Box office wise, I always like to talk about how much money movies make because it's
Did it
all
make a
about
lot? I don't
It
know.
made a decent amount of money, and right now it's still top of the box office. People are loving this movie. I think I like it better than the first movie. I only seen the first movie one time.
I saw it once. I really liked the first one.
I think you'd like this movie if you stayed awake for
I
it.
might.
Yeah. But we're getting old, like we established before.
I remember being confused by this plot point where they're like the ad things.
It's just a representation of what.
Oh, but
pop-up ads are.
the bunny thing is brilliant.
Yeah.
Baby Moana playing the pancake and milkshake game.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
So it made 100. It's right now sitting at $141 million
That's
worldwide
I'd
in 2
take
weeks. So it's pretty good.
I'd be all right with that.
Casting is John C. Reilly reprising his role as Ralph.
John C. Reilly seems like such a nice guy.
He does seem like a nice guy.
I hope he is in real life.
I think he is. He seems like it.
Probably.
Sarah Silverman reprising her role as Vanellope.
Vanellope.
Which I thought was Penelope. I kept hearing a P the entire time.
Vanellope.
Vanellope. We have Gal Gadot. I forget her name. I think it's Shank or something like that.
Yeah,
she
Shank.
is from the
She's
slaughter race world, which she's just basically her Fast
She's
and
a
the Furious.
badass car racer.
She's the Fast and Furious character she played in the fourth movie, I think it was. But she's pretty cool. She's good. And we have, I don't know how to say her
the
name.
necklace. They have like best friend necklaces. I like that part.
Right.
That part. Taraji P. Henson.
Yes, she plays the kind of the viral character who is in charge of like YouTube essentially,
yeah.
or their version of YouTube, called Yas.
Yes.
Yas.
I didn't know that was her name.
Or I think it's Yas
boy.
or Yes with multiple
Yes.
S's. Okay, so I have a couple things here, and I'll be honest. Laura's not the only one who kind of dozed off. I think we just saw a really late movie.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we also went for beers and wings before, which is not a really good excuse.
Yeah, that's true.
But at
It
the
made
same
us
time,
sleepy.
I was really sleepy.
Although I only had wings.
I don't like to fall asleep during movies. That never happens.
I don't like to.
Yeah, and I liked this movie too, which I felt really bad because I feel like some of the emotional
There's the
beats
princesses.
of this movie kind of got lost on me.
Yeah. Like when you were telling me the plot afterwards, I was like, oh yeah, that happened, but
Yeah.
I don't remember how I felt about it.
Right. So I'm going to just list off a couple cameos that were in the movie. And this movie is really good for multiple viewings in that sense, where you would probably miss a lot of like Easter eggs if you don't look carefully. So some that I wrote down was Mickey, Dumbo, Sonic the Hedgehog, Grumpy from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, that guy from Zootopia, I forget his name, Nick. The Fox? The Fox,
right,
yeah. We have Buzz Lightyear. We have Baby Groot, Stan Lee cameo. You saw in the trailers that we're playing right now, like Star Wars, like Stormtrooper, C-3PO, a bunch of different Marvel ones.
Oh yeah, C-3PO shows up.
Yeah,
at the
exactly.
Disney
Some Street
Princess
Fighter
Mansion.
ones, Pac-Man, and of course the Disney princesses.
Yeah.
Which no spoilers for this, but I will say I think they steal the show. They're not in there for very long.
They had two pretty big scenes.
Yeah, but they're not like pivotal to the movie. They're
In the
not.
end, they were.
I guess so. Well,
They
spoiler.
help-
I
yeah.
guess like in a way, but like they're not in the movie the entire time. They're kind of just they're used sparingly
They're
and they're
supporting
used
characters.
very well.
Oh look, tea.
And I think it's cool because they get a lot of original voice actors and actresses to come back, not only
Most
for
of
the
princesses.
wasn't it all of the princesses?
Well, some of them were made like some of them were made in like the first half of the, no, in like the 60s. So I don't think they would
So
have
they
had the
didn't-
originals. Yeah, because I think some
That's
of them
probably
are no
true.
longer with us.
But they got a lot of voice actors. Like, for example, I read that Baby Groot's voice was Vin Diesel's voice.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Buzz was Tim Allen.
I think all of the modern Disney princesses were.
And just characters in
Cinderella
general.
And Aurora weren't.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that was really cool, and I like. It was just little.
Skip that.
No, let's
go
just go back.
Okay.
I'll go back. There we go. Let's play the trailer all over again. And I lost my train of thought now.
You were talking about the original characters.
Right. Well, that's the end of that one, I think. But basically, I want to go to like the story of the movie. And I had to read kind of a recap before kind of like before I could remember it all kind of thing. And yes, the story is all about in the end of the day, it's about friendship. Friendship.
I picked up
You picked up the friendship part?
The necklace bit, the friendship necklace bit really like
Hit home.
The hit home also helps me like understand.
Friend of the
plot
show,
point.
Samantha Leggett. Samantha Leggett. She said she cried, and she cries a lot during animated movies because she loves animated movies. But I believe her. This movie seems like if I stayed awake for it, I probably would have felt more than I did.
Well, there was this friendship scene towards the end of the film that I was like fully awake for, and then I fell asleep again a little bit.
Right.
But it definitely drew me in.
Yes. I like how, so basically the story is not just about friendship, but like it really just is Ralph needs to go to the internet to get the MacGuffin, which is like her steering wheel.
Yep.
It's for her arcade game that that they unplugged essentially. I wrote here that I really like how they depicted the internet in this movie.
It was very Disney.
It's very Disney about it, and
Very
I wonder how
visual,
this movie will
colorful.
hold up throughout the years. I don't know.
I don't know either. I also don't know like in 10 years a lot of these websites might not exist
Well, that's
anymore,
what I
right?
mean.
Yeah.
It's like I loved like how they like there's Amazon, there's Google, there's Twitter, and all these things will probably exist in
Yeah.
10 years.
I bet they chose them pretty carefully though to
Yeah.
avoid that.
But the things that I think might get lost in the future, because like right now, really relevant and really funny is Ralph, spoilers, does a lot of viral,
Spoiler.
does viral
Spoiler.
videos essentially.
Spoiler. I was doing the spoiler.
Thank you. Does viral videos to make money, and does a lot of like modern memes and things like that.
Meme is a kind of visual pop culture reference, if anyone's unsure of that.
I think everyone knows what a meme is.
Not everyone.
You're speaking to the older audience here. We have Hilton saying hi.
Hi.
Hi, Hilton.
Hi.
Yeah, so I'm wondering how that holds up in the future, like those modern memes that are happening right now. But I do like things like how they depict like pop-up ads, and they're like, we're gonna go to the deep web to like, and they find like someone who makes like viruses and things like that.
Yeah.
I like how they depict like the bustling city of like where all of the bigger kind of internet entities are, like Google and Snapchat and stuff. It's all like busy and lots of roads and super futuristic stuff. So that's pretty cool.
One other thing
Yeah.
I liked was like there's this classic Disney princess idea of I want more.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be where the people are. I want much more than this provincial life, all that stuff. And that was totally Vanellope's storyline, but it's I think one of the best parts of Disney princess movies is like this idea of having ambition and wanting more for yourself. And they took the good part of Disney princess kind of lore and brought it into her story.
They even gave Vanellope her own song.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun. It was like Alan Menken.
Yeah.
Alan Menken, who does a lot of Disney songs,
Yeah,
you say?
he did Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Tangled.
Does all that stuff.
You guys knows what he's doing.
So the song is called A Place Called Slaughter Race. A place called Slaughter Race. Sang by Sarah Silverman, and it's very funny. And it was like probably the biggest kind of like showstopper of the entire movie.
It was the only song, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they went pretty all out in terms of animation. Okay, so it is very sweaty in here. You're the one who said we should wear hoods.
Yeah,
so.
but for Creed.
Hey, spoilers.
No, we told them.
We already told them we're doing that. You're right. Let's move on into another topic here, and you need to stretch it out a bit. Oh my! Laura is taking off her sweater, her hoodie for now, and she's gonna put it back on when we talk about Creed. But right now, we're not talking about Creed. We are talking about Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald.
Grindelwald.
Even though it's a W.
Yeah, but I think it's like I think it's pronounced Grindelwald.
Is it? Yeah, it is, right?
So.
They keep saying Grindelwald, but it's with a W. I always said Grindelwald.
Yeah, in the movie, some people said Grindelwald and some said Grindelwald.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let us know, internet.
Fantastic Beasts 2 is what we'll call it because it's easier than saying.
Dose.
Yeah. Thoughts?
Okay, so here's the thing.
I know we have very
watched
polar
the first
opposite
movie once.
Thoughts, yeah.
I liked the first movie. I completely forgot the first movie. I should have watched it again before the second movie. Saw the second movie, liked it a lot. But there were certain assumptions that I made about the second movie that turned out to not be true. Like, I thought that Lita Lestrange's character, so Zoe Kravitz's character, Lita Lestrange, I thought that she was already an established character from the first movie, but apparently they just introduced her in the second. So they probably could have given her a little more backstory. Love that mustard vest on Newt.
On Eddie Redmayne's character.
Newt Scamander.
This movie here is, I think they said it was the lowest Harry Potter grossing movie that's ever come out.
Yeah, but that's like being the worst Spice Girl.
It's
like,
true.
So
It's so that's what I wanted to get into was like production budget being 200 million, but it still made 470 million worldwide, which isn't so bad. It's just comparatively to the first Fantastic Beasts, which is double that number. So that's quite a dip. You and I have very different opinions of this movie.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You know, you can be wrong sometimes, and that's why you're on the show. No, I'm sorry. I love you. Anyways, so what we have is...
You wrote snoot.
I know. Don't read my notes. These are for me.
It's supposed to say newt. It says
snoot. I was writing very quickly. I had 30 minutes before the podcast to write something.
So pretty.
For me, this movie is a lot of setup. And I think my main complaint about this movie...
Too many characters?
No. Well, yes, but my main complaint of this movie is it feels like it is the middle chapter of something larger. And that's fine for a lot of movies, but I still think you can make a good movie without... like a nice self-contained movie, a good standalone movie that still has a good a connective tissue for future movies going forward. And for me, this was like, here's a lot of setup, and just you wait, it's gonna get crazy. And then the stuff that happened in the movie was just all right. So that's how I thought about that.
Sorry, I was looking at Dumbledore.
Right.
Sidebar.
Yeah,
Dumbledore Jude Law is the best Jude Law.
He's all right.
There was so much happening in this movie, but not all of it seemed to really matter. Like the Queenie and who's the American guy?
It's like Jacob.
Jacob, yeah. Queenie and Jacob's storyline was kind of like
whatever.
It just felt completely unnecessary, but I guess like in the end, Queenie was sort of what brought them into Grindelwald's audience.
Yeah, spoilers.
But the whole beginning romantic thing at the beginning, I was like, this is kind of
it's weird because like spoilers for the first movie, but like they wipe his memory at the end of Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, and
it's supposed to be a huge moment. It's like you're a human. This can never happen. And this is it. You'll never become part of the wizarding world ever again. But in the beginning of this movie, he's just back.
They sort of change the properties of an Obliviate charm, which I don't know if I'm on board with that. He's like, oh, it only erases bad memories. And everyone else is like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
But that might be like a J.K. Rowling thing that
I think she retconned that. I'm not sure.
Just don't know what's going on there.
We have some new characters, i.e. Jude Law's Dumbledore, like you mentioned before. We have Lita Lestrange, Lestrange, like you talked about.
Yep.
We have couple different minor characters, and one that I really have a problem with was Nagini. I shouldn't say I really have a problem with her, but this is where we had a big disagreement on too.
Yeah. I'm so excited about what they're going to do with Nagini, because to me, like, she could become a huge part of the what's the word for like people fighting against someone?
Like
rebellion, of like the Grindelwald resistance / rebellion. Which would make her so interesting in that, you know, it's not a spoiler that she ends up as like a Voldemort snake.
Yeah.
But now it could potentially be completely against her will. We're about to find out.
Yeah, I think the idea of it's fun, but like what I was saying before, it's just like it's just a lot of setup to just wait till you see Nagini's payoff moment.
I'm fine with that.
And what they do with her in the actual movie is nothing. I can say she might have had like maybe 10 lines in the entire
But
movie.
she's a companion to create. Like I
She
think
had like 10 lines in the entire
I
movie,
think it's
maybe.
okay for her to be a secondary character though.
She was like a quadruciary. Hortiary
I would
character?
say tertiary. I would go with tertiary.
I'm gonna
here.
give her the like
But
bottom of the barrel type of like treatment.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's okay.
We can't argue forever.
Yeah, it's
we
fine.
can. We will afterwards.
This is a different thing. We have to go back.
No. Let this play because this is not what's important. This is not what's important.
The casting of the young Newt was great. He looked just like Eddie Redmayne.
Yes.
Yeah, he was
great.
Oh,
yeah.
There he is.
Um,
There he is.
I was gonna say there's a small love story between Eddie Redmayne's character and the character from the first movie,
Tina,
Catherine Waterston's character,
who I always think is Carey Mulligan.
Yeah, she does look like her.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was done really well.
Yes, but I was quite confused by the Lita stuff, and I'm like, are we supposed to be rooting for Lita and Newt? Are we? But like,
Right.
didn't him and Tina have
almost
a thing?
like it fell flat.
How did that end? Yeah. The love maybe love triangle / square, but not really a square because it wasn't a square. Perhaps the love rhombus that involved Newt's brother.
Yeah.
Was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
You know what else? I was just reading the plot summary and I completely forgot about the Yusuf character, like Lita's half brother. Oh shit! Sorry.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I didn't
spoilers.
say anything. Can you put up the spoiler thing? Can we talk about spoilers?
Yeah, let's put up the spoiler thing. Here we go.
So there's like this big expository scene? Exposition scene near the end. Oh.
Obsessed with you too. Obsessed with you both. Cassidy Howard. Thank
I'm
you.
obsessed
Cassidy
with
is
you,
a
Cassidy.
huge Harry Potter fan.
Okay, I'm glad you've tuned in because I want to get your opinion on this, Cassidy.
She might have not seen it.
What were we talking about?
You're talking about your
the
exposition.
Exposition of Lita's. So Lita has two half brothers. So one of them is Yusuf, who's trying to track down the last male member of the Lestrange bloodline, who he thinks is Credence, but turns out to not be. Again, the spoiler thing's up, so that's safe. But it turns out that Lita had swapped her own brother because she was so sick of his crying with Credence as a child. So she essentially saved Credence's life and her brother died. Anyways, so that's that storyline. I thought that was really interesting and like a cool turn at the end of the movie because you don't really know exactly why everyone's trying to track down Credence. So that sort of explained everything and connected all of the characters in a really cool way. I don't think you like that though.
I thought the exposition on that entire thing was I was paying attention. I was really trying to like get what they were going for, but I think they kind of info dumped you very quickly, and it kind of, for me, it just didn't even register. Like it was supposed to be like this nice, oh my god moment, like this is an important moment, you should pay attention to this. But when it happened, I was like, I'm still kind of confused of how, whatever. Like I
so into it.
I was not into it. But we have polar opposite opinions about this movie because I thought Johnny Depp's characterization of Grindelwald was probably my most, he was the most interesting part of the movie, where I know you just hated it.
He was fine, but I don't care anything about him.
Yeah, like him as a person, he seems like a garbage human being, but I thought his acting for this role was like the more interesting part of this movie. I think they could have done with, and they'll do this in the future, more with Jude Law's Dumbledore.
Okay.
Like, I liked it, but...
So here's what I think the movie really could have done to be impactful, was like they show this sort of tender emotional scene between Dumbledore and Grindelwald, where I think if they were like a man and a woman, they totally would have kissed. Mm-hmm. Because as we know that they were in love, but they didn't have them kiss, and I thought that was a real mistake.
You know what my problem is? You know they're in love because you've read the books. You're a big Harry Potter fan. I've read the books as well. I'm a pretty big Harry Potter fan, but I'm not like this huge Potterhead where I know everything about everything. Mm-hmm. But it's like it's one of those things where like if you have like the layman come in, or like if you just want to enjoy the movie, you might not understand like some of the references they're kind of like throwing in there.
So do you think they're holding back on that love until the next movie?
I just want to know why. Yeah, maybe the next movie they'll show how they fell in love and stuff like that, or like where that love comes from. Because in this movie, it's just somewhat implied, and you don't see anything around it.
But I think they could have, like, I don't know why they didn't imply it stronger
Oh, I know.
for those fans who didn't know about it.
Why didn't they? Who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows? There is one more plot
Missed
point.
opportunity.
Credence, Ezra Miller's character.
Yep. This is a big spoiler.
For you. Oh, yes. Oh, we're going to talk about that. Yes. Before we talk about
Oh,
that,
yeah,
just
talk
in
about other
general, I do want to see where his character goes. I'm going to watch these movies because I'm a sucker for, like, I need to see it. I'm a nerd. But the weird thing is I've never really enjoyed any Harry Potter movie. Like
They'll never live up to the book.
They'll never live up to the books. That's not true. I shouldn't say I didn't enjoy the movies. They're just not as good as the books.
If they were, I think if I'd seen the movies first, I'd been like, wow, these are great. And
The Harry
then if
Potter
I'd read
movies
the
are
book,
fine.
It would have blown my mind.
The Harry Potter movies are
But-
fine. The
yeah.
Fantastic Beasts movies have been
Oh, tangent. Like, the beasts have nothing to do with anything, right?
No.
They did in the first movie, but now it's just like,
There's
it's really
barely a beast.
Newt Scamander, The Crimes of Grindelwald.
I like
Not a great
Eddie.
title.
I think Eddie Redmayne saves the whole series for me. He is very good.
I love Eddie Redmayne.
He's very good as this Newt character.
He's so charming.
I like his love for animals, even though the movies aren't about the animals.
Oh, and
the Nifflers. Those guys are
the
fun.
Nifflers. Those are great, and they have a great moment. Those cats are scary. I think Dumbledore sums it up well when, what does he say? He's like, Newt, you're the only person I know who seeks knowledge or like only wants to know the truth rather than wanting to gain power. Something to that effect.
Very deep.
And like that
very well
that's
delivered.
exactly what it is about Newt that I think makes him so
More
such a
compelling
powerful
hero.
character. I don't remember that dance scene.
Yeah,
that
I don't
a
know.
movie?
I'm not sure.
Maybe they cut it.
Anyways, we'll wrap up really quickly with this.
Cassidy really loved this movie, but yeah, we have to talk about the end.
The end, but just in general with Credence, how did you feel about him?
I completely forgot his character from the first movie,
And he
then
was
when
huge in the first
he was
movie.
a huge character. I thought he was really interesting. He was sort of driving the whole plot because a lot of it was like you didn't really know what was happening or what
No.
anyone's motivations were, but Credence's was pretty clear. He's trying to figure out who he is and where he comes from, and at the end of the movie, we still don't quite have an answer.
No, and here we go. Here's spoilers. This is big spoilers for any Harry Potter nerds or Fantastic Beasts nerds. But I feel like if you're a Fantastic Beasts nerd, you've probably already seen this movie. It's been out for weeks.
Yeah, it's been out for a few weeks.
He is the
Okay, let's frame this with Grindelwald tells him
Right.
he is
something Dumbledore.
Aurelius.
Aurelius Dumbledore, which makes no sense.
So yeah,
We've tried to work this out. I read some theories on the internet. What do you think?
what we know about Dumbledore is that he has a brother, Aberforth, who's still alive and well. Well, depends on how you define well. In the Harry Potter series, at the end of the last book, and he had a younger sister, Ariana, who was tragically killed in a 3-way duel between Grindelwald, Dumbledore, and Aberforth
This hurts my brain.
when they fought. So, Ariana was a surprise sibling of Dumbledore. So to have another surprise sibling as a major plot point kind of infuriates me.
Yep.
So my initial reaction was like, oh, he's lying. There's no Aurelius. He's completely lying. He's trying to manipulate him.
I don't know how this new piece of information is going to end well, I guess, or end in a very satisfying way, because someone made this is not my own thought, but someone made the thought on the internet that Dumbledore is really close to before he dies, he starts to talk about his history, about how he had a dark past, and how he starts remembering his family, right? So if this Dumbledore is so important, why wouldn't he have mentioned him before in the books?
Well, I think the only answer to that question, because it's a valid question, is that he didn't know about him.
Yes.
If he is in fact a Dumbledore, and Cassidy says she doesn't think he's actually a Dumbledore, and I agree with you, Cassidy.
Right,
I think
which
he's
makes me think
playing him.
this is just and it just becomes that's a kind of whatever point, I guess. This is the big moment in
It's a
this movie.
whatever point, yeah.
This is the big moment in this movie, so I think it kind of cheapens the experience a little bit.
Yeah, I was really mad at the end, but everyone walking out was like, "Oh yeah, he's his brother," and I was like, "No, you can't just say, oh, he's Dumbledore's brother. You have to challenge this concept don't just like sit back for the next 2 years while we wait for the next movie. Being
So
like, oh,
he's either not his brother, which is the most obvious thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And which everybody can guess, or he is his brother and Dumbledore never knew about him, which is also not satisfying.
Yeah.
So maybe they have a way. They're Hollywood masters. They probably
it's
find a
J.K.
way.
Rowling. She's a master storyteller. She's probably got a long-term plan. As Cassidy says, it's a trick.
That's right.
Tend to agree. But I did read this thing on the internet today that pointed out that so
The internet.
Albus, yeah, you guys should check out the internet.
Ralph breaks it one time.
Let me see if I can find it. No, I can't find it. But anyway, so Dumbledore is some type of metal. Ariana is another word for gold, apparently.
Okay, sure.
And what did I say his name was? Aurelius is has like links to the word silver. So it's like a very clever choice of names.
Very
For young
clever.
Aurelius.
I've heard the internet a little blow up about Professor McGonagall being part of the movie and how her age doesn't make sense from what they say in
It
the
definitely
books.
doesn't, but let's not worry about it.
But that's something that I care less about. I'm not mad at the movie for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even mad at the movie. I just wish it was better. That's all.
Yeah, I'd like some like maybe cut down on some of the characters, but
Maybe a little
Jude
bit.
Law's Dumbledore.
No thanks. Well, he's okay. He's okay. He's just there and he's handsome.
He's handsome and charming.
He's
And probably all-knowing.
yeah,
omnipotent.
but is he as handsome as this? I'm trying to
What are you doing?
do a terrible segue, which doesn't play well on audio, to me punching the air because we're about to talk about. Wait, hang on. Cassidy says, "What about McGonagall? Can we talk about that?" Man, it's been weeks since we've seen this movie, so I don't remember exactly.
I think we have to. Okay, so I know that J.K. Rowling has acknowledged in the past that she's not great at numbers on certain things. So, for
Yeah.
example, she once said that there's 700 students at Hogwarts, which would mean like over 150 students in each house.
Yeah.
Which is like more than 20 students per year, and that doesn't make any sense. So she's acknowledged that she's made mistakes like that before. So I feel like this is just one of those.
But the thing, and it's been a couple weeks now, so it's not information I'd like to retain because it doesn't matter. But it's something about like you see McGonagall in the movie, and she is far too young.
Like she shouldn't have even been born yet.
She shouldn't have been born yet because in the books they say I've been teaching at this school for X amount of
39
years,
years.
something like that, and
she started 2 years after she graduated.
something
so she
like
wasn't born
that.
until the
Ugh,
30s.
Harry Potter.
It's fine. We'll get over it.
Anyways, let's talk about Creed 2.
We heart you, Cassidy.
Michael B. Jordan. And we literally just saw this movie, like, I don't know, what would you say, 2 hours ago?
Yeah, we saw the
3 hours ago?
12:45 showing, and it was like 2.5 hours. It was a long movie.
Yeah, it was, but I like...
this is my favorite part. This is like Creed 2, Breaking Bad. Where they go into the desert.
Oh, yeah,
And
this
he
is
has
great.
to dig a bunch of holes.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Creed. We have this movie was up against Wreck-It Ralph in terms of Ralph Breaks the Internet. And they came out like kind of like the same week, actually.
Like they went in for a championship match.
That's right.
And one of them came out on top.
Ralph won, but Creed 2 is a smaller movie. Obviously, it doesn't cost as much money, so it made a ton of money. It's definitely not a flop.
A ton of profits.
This movie was originally supposed to be directed by Ryan Coogler, but
He's busy.
because of Black Panther, Michael B. Jordan being involved with that, they had to delay this movie. So this movie was supposed to come out sooner. It didn't. So it's directed by Stephen Caple Jr., which I didn't actually get to. I forgot to look up what other movies he's done, which I'll probably do now.
How about I look at it up while you keep talking?
Okay, sure. The screenplay was done by Jewel Taylor and Sylvester Stallone. You got Sly. Creed 1, we just watched this the other day. Creed 1 was one of my favorite movies that came out in, I think it was 2016 is when it came out. I think it was the same year as the original Lego movie, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that fact. But I've only seen the first Rocky movie. I might have seen bits and pieces of like future Rocky movies.
I've seen a few of them over the years.
But so when I went directly into Creed, I'm like, am I gonna like this movie? Because I don't have a really big connection to these characters. But just from osmosis alone, you have absorbed enough Rocky knowledge throughout the years that you know who Rocky is. Exactly. That's all you really have to know.
Yeah.
So when I saw Creed 1, I was very surprised and very happy. because it was such a, I don't know, it was a really exhilarating movie. I thought the first movie had really good boxing moments, really good fight choreography, but it also had a lot of good touching moments, good music. It was all round amazing time.
Yeah.
So I was very, very excited to see this movie. Now, it sounds like you're looking
I did my research on Stephen Caple Jr. So he hasn't directed any movies I've heard of. The Land was his most recent movie in 2016. And he did 2 episodes of Grownish, which is the Yara Shahidi spin-off of Blackish.
Oh, okay.
So TV show.
Interesting.
Anyways, yeah, so not very well known.
So this movie involves not needing to, but I think we would have gotten a little bit more out of it, not just by watching Creed 1, but Rocky 4. Because this movie is about Ivan Drago's son.
Drago.
No, Ivan Drago's son.
Khal Drogo?
No, that's from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And it's Drago, not Drogo.
It's close.
I forget. Dolph Lundgren's son in the movie. I already forget his name, and it was only 3 hours ago.
Victor.
Victor, yes, that's
Not
right.
Carl.
Very Russian.
Victor.
Challenging Adonis Creed, Michael B. Jordan's character, to a fight. Now, the big thing is in Rocky 4, Apollo Creed, Michael B. Jordan's father, dies in a boxing match, and then Rocky wins.
Against Ivan Drago.
So it was a big deal. It's like, oh my God, old Dolph Lundgren, old Sylvester Stallone. They're both in the movie. It's huge. And their sons, Sylvester Stallone's not his father, but he basically, should be.
Well, he calls him Unc. He's like an adopted uncle kind
That's
of thing.
Right. Yeah. That's right. So it's kind of a big deal for, I guess, Rocky fans. I know a friend of the show, Christine, was very excited for this movie. Yeah. She was begging us to watch
I'm sorry, Christine,
Rocky 4 first before this movie, which I don't think. They show enough clips from Rocky 4 to make you feel like, I didn't have to
They
watch
do
it.
enoff exposition to let us know what's going on.
Maybe we would get a little bit more out of it, but
one of the things you might be wondering is, wait a second, this guy's dad killed the other guy's dad. Isn't it kind of a jerk thing to then be like, I'm gonna fight you? Like, you killed his dad. What else are you gonna do? But the reason for that is because after Rocky defeated Ivan Drago, basically they were kind of shunned by. They don't really say by who, like by the country.
Yeah, they said by the country and everyone.
So they need to win back respect in order to be loved by Russia again or something like that.
That's exactly it. And if I had to have, I guess overall thoughts, I really liked the movie.
Mm-hmm. I liked it. I liked it so much.
I think there's 2 things that I could have been better, which is give the Dragos more.
Oh, I loved the way they did it.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I loved the way it was.
I think I would have liked to see, I understand their motivation, but I think I would have liked to see a little bit more. Especially, we have what's his name? I already forget. Victor Drago, who is the main opponent for Adonis Creed, and I think as the main bad guy, I wanted to see just a little bit more out of him.
See, I really liked his storyline because I thought right around the midpoint of the movie, he became a really sympathetic villain in that you could see his inner conflict and you could see that he was struggling with this idea of defeating Creed. And you could tell that he wanted to win. He wanted to be a champion. But most of his motivation came from trying to recover his dad's name. So it was more of a family pride thing than him actually wanting to win. And I could also see that he was he didn't really like the idea of having to win back these people who had abandoned him and had abandoned his father, because what good had they ever done for him? I really like that they don't ever explain who. So there's sort of this scene where they're at this beautiful stately home having a dinner with, they just kind of say they, these Russian people, and I like to think that it was the king of Russia, and then
the king.
All of a sudden, this is a spoiler.
Oh, whatever, it's barely.
So this woman walks in. This is the midpoint of the film, so it's not a huge spoiler. This woman walks in, and it's sort of you figure out that it's his mother who abandoned him as a child, and she's romantically involved with the king of Russia.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
That was cool.
Yeah,
That was
like
cool.
she left this boxer to become the queen.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I thought that was kind of funny. But he then like goes out and takes out his anger.
His I will say, like, this fighter, Victor Drago, was better than the first, like, main bad guy, I guess you would say, Conway or something like that.
Yeah.
I liked him, Victor, better for that.
Yeah. His character was more interesting.
A little bit more interesting, but I would have just a little bit more, just a little bit more. The 3 years after Creed, this is when the story takes place, and this movie is a lot more family focused. So, there is.
Tessa Thompson plays a much bigger role in this one.
She plays a much bigger role. It's again, like, kind of Ralph Breaks the Internet. Well, no, that's not true. It's about family.
Yeah.
Ralph Breaks the Internet, Friends. This one's about family.
Yeah.
And about keeping it, and what are you fighting for? Kind of a classic kind of fighter or, theme.
Did you notice that at the end, so he has those like classic dad boxing shorts that he boxes in,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end he got his own like different ones?
Who?
Creed, because he was boxing for himself.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I really liked that. I thought it was a clever trick.
He had different shorts.
Yeah.
You mean? I love the entrances. I love boxing entrances.
Oh, the entrances
they're
were
so
amazing.
ridiculous. They're so ridiculous. There is and it shouldn't. This is not too much of spoilers, but there is like the way the story kind of plays out is there's less boxing in this movie than there was in the first one. In the first one, there's a lot of boxing. There's a lot of punching bags, a lot of training montages.
I think there's like 3 or 4 training montages in the first one. Yeah.
Yes, in this movie there is really 2, one small one and one pretty great one.
Yeah.
Like where like Michael B. Jordan like fights a desert basically.
He fights they go out, they drive out to this
He
like
starts smashing the desert.
these like maybe ex-con boxers, who knows? What do they say? They're like shamed boxers or something.
Yeah,
who are
they need to
coming back.
be reborn, so they go to the desert to like beat up the
and
desert.
And the first thing he does is just take this giant hammer and just start hammering the ground.
Great montage, for sure.
I felt like that was also like a great sort of rebirth scene, because they had him, like, he always wears sort of like gray and black when he's working out, and they had him in this like clean white hoodie that gets progressively dirtier and dirtier as he works out.
Yeah.
Very effective.
Very effective indeed.
Oh, there he is with no shirt.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes with him with no shirt. Laura, come
He's
on,
a boxer.
pay attention.
He's a boxer.
Pay attention.
I'm focusing on the
on
film
his
that we're
abs,
talking about.
on his abs
I didn't
and his
say
back.
That. I didn't say that.
But just because this movie, the way this movie plays out, you got a lot of emotions of like Adonis needing to build out his legacy and stuff like that, which he becomes kind of like emo a lot through the movie, which is fine because it's like him trying to build up his character and stuff.
Well, he nearly. Oh, I'm not gonna say it. It's a spoiler.
Sure, but
Once
just because of that story beat, we get inherently a lot less boxing and more Adonis being kind of really moody to everybody around him, which is quite a
little bit
bummer.
like Harry in Order of the Phoenix.
Exactly like that, I guess. I don't remember.
He comes back.
But yeah, like I would say the actual boxing, like the matches, were fine to watch too. But they weren't as exciting as Coogler's direction in the first movie. I think if you remember the first movie, that last fight was like sweeping.
Oh, it's so painful.
It looked like a one-shot take, even though
Yeah.
it probably wasn't. But it was just like completely swooping around and stuff like that. I noticed in this movie they did a couple punches and they kept cutting to like other characters rooting for people.
Yeah.
So it was a little less like you were in the boxing match with them, rather than you're just watching a good boxing match.
There was this one scene or shot that I loved where it followed him through the ropes into the ring that I thought was really cool for the last match.
Lots of slow-mo punches to the face with spit coming out.
But the entrances, so there's 2 fights where Michael B. Jordan makes a big entrance, and they're both amazing.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah. I thought the second one was really cool too, because like I think
you follow the light to a thing,
Yeah,
and
that
like
was really neat,
and then
yeah.
Tessa Thompson's character sings.
But I thought that was a good like symbolic thing of like we're in this together. She's walking.
They
into
do
the
give
ring
her
with him.
a bigger moment or more stuff to do
for
in this
sure.
movie, and like well, you see in the trailers like she has a baby.
Yeah.
And they deal a lot more about like her loss of hearing. I guess they don't really resolve anything with that, or I guess that's
They
something
show
they'll
the baby
explore.
with hearing aids, so
And
I
that-
assume she doesn't have total hearing loss.
Right. Whatever. Anyways, yeah, that's neither here or there.
Yeah, we'll figure that out in the future.
And yes, the end of the movie I thought was also satisfying too. And Sylvester Stallone's already said that this is probably going to be his last Rocky movie. So he says that's his last time playing Rocky, and you can kind of tell the way they send off his character too.
Oh, it's a beautiful ending.
Yeah, it's really good.
There's several points at the end that really got to me emotionally. One of them, should we do the spoiler if we're going to talk about the end?
Sure.
Okay.
Let me throw up that thingy majiggy.
Throw up the thingy majiggy.
Spoilers.
So at the end of the fight, oh, let's fix that.
Fix your hair.
At the end of the fight, so Ivan Drago throws in the towel because his son is essentially getting walloped.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting hit hard. So he throws in the towel to protect him, which is like a sudden twist because the dad beforehand was basically like, win at all costs,
Yeah.
kill him if you have to, which,
Right.
might be die if you have to kind of thing.
And Rocky was always disappointed in himself for never
Yeah.
working up the courage to throw in the towel.
But for this terrifying moment before he throws in the towel, so first it shows the mother stand up and walk out with the king, and then it shows the dad stand up and walk, and you think, oh my God, he's abandoning his son. And like, I very nearly burst into tears in that moment. And then he walked in and threw down the towel, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Oh, jeez.
Thank God.
We see Milo Venta something.
Milo Ventimiglia.
Yeah, that guy, it's crazy to me that he just became, it's because of This Is Us, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, I think, so I'm pretty sure he was the son in Rocky 6.
Yeah, I gotta
and
watch it.
My suspicion is that they wanted to reboot the franchise with him, and then he wasn't popular, so they didn't.
Or,
That's
yeah,
just
or he wasn't jacked
my
enough.
instinct. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And then, but I thought it was cool of him to come back and be there at the end of this movie.
For me, Sylvester Stallone steals the show, as he did in the first movie.
He's amazing.
He's so good as old Rocky. I think old Rocky is such a
Yeah.
more compelling character than his, like, because Rocky and, like, young Rocky is kind of like he's
kind
a
of
lovable goof, but he's dumb and he's
Well,
just like not really wise.
He's
but-
kind of like Joey if Joey wasn't funny. Like you'd
Joey
still laugh at
Fatone?
him, but you not Fatone. Joey from Friends.
Oh,
Joey Fatone.
from NSYNC.
Yeah, so I think he's so likable as an older dude.
Yeah, and he says a lot of like. I want Sylvester Stallone to be my grandpa. Like he's
It's
so
only
like,
3 steps into that ring.
for what?
That was his good quote from this one. It's only
Only
3 steps into that
Right.
ring. What was the one from the first movie?
So there's
one step, one punch.
one round at a time.
Yeah, there
So
you go.
there is no that in this movie, which I was.
It's only 3 steps into the ring.
Yeah, but he doesn't say it a lot.
He said it twice.
Does he? Does he say it twice?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. In the first movie, one step, one punch, one round at a time. They put that saying right in there, and every time he says it, you're like, oh, I love you.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't think because Sylvester Stallone was nominated for an Oscar for this role
For the first
in
one,
First
yeah.
Creed. I don't think he'll get nominated for this one, even
No.
though he was an amazing. He's
But-
so good at this.
Speaking of the Oscars, do you know what there is not an Oscar category for?
What?
For like best music. Like there's best original score,
Really?
but I think they're like the way that more movies are using like popular music in the soundtracks. I think there needs to be an Oscar for best music. Because this
That'd be
has
cool.
a score as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
and the way they use Gonna Fly Now, I don't think they brought the actual like classic Gonna Fly Now theme into the first Creed movie, but they did here. And it was
they-
like the perfect
they
spot.
did. They did.
in the
They
first one?
did,
I
yeah.
don't remember it. But that's the scene where they do it.
Yeah,
and it's amazing.
They just like in the first movie, they swell it up.
Yeah.
And they do it for like 5 seconds and they drop it.
It's so good.
It's good. The music's really good.
And the reason I brought that up was the music in the Breaking Bad montage was amazing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought they had like probably 2 or 3 different songs in there.
You
and
keep
it
saying
was
Breaking
so
Bad,
good.
but there's no drugs in this movie.
No, but like it looks just like it. Yeah.
All right. Well, here we are. We did it. We talked through all of it, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph Breaks the Internet, Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of Grindelwald, as well. Is that your Harry Potter shirt? This is the first I saw of it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's talk about things that we're excited for in December.
Christmas.
Christmas, obviously. Christmas is the big one. But is there any like movies that you wanna? I'll go first. I Super Smash Brothers. That's definitely going to be a topic next month. I'm very excited for it. Aquaman. I am somewhat excited about. I'm going to talk
the
about
trailer's
it.
not bad.
The trailer's not bad. It took 3 trailers for me to be like, all right.
Yeah.
There's that PlayStation Classic, which I probably won't buy, but it would look really good on a shelf. Mary Poppins Returns.
Oh, Spider-Man's Into the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Bumblebee, I guess, but whatever. It's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
and Mary Poppins. You're really excited about that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty jazzed about that.
That's going to be great.
I love Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
Okay.
You love
I'm a
Lin-Manuel.
little bit nervous. I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm a little bit nervous about his accent. Because, like, it's supposed to be a bad accent, but, like, what if it's really
What kind
bad?
of accent does it?
Don't do that.
Is it? It's me,
Just
Lin-Manuel
Stop doing that.
Miranda.
Okay, and yeah, the 2 movies that came out that I still haven't seen that I really want to see are Beautiful Boy and Boy Erased.
Yes.
With Timothy
Oh,
Chalamet.
Chalamet.
And who's the
Who's
guy
that?
in the
Ollie
second
Fon.
one?
Steve Carell's in that.
Yeah, but who's the young redheaded guy who was in Lady Bird?
Lady Bird.
And,
I forget.
okay, anyways, that redheaded young actor.
Mm-hmm.
Both great actors, and looking forward to seeing those
Ooh,
two.
Vice comes out next month too. The one with Christian
I didn't
Bale.
even hear of that until we watched
Today.
Creed today.
Christian
I thought it
Bale,
was
Sam
great.
Rockwell, Amy Adams.
Yeah.
Killer cast. Same. Oh, Steve Carell as well. Adam
Steve
McKay
Carell.
does it. Adam McKay, director of The Big Short.
Yes, that's
doing
what he
that
did.
movie.
The
So
Big Short, okay.
yeah. Overall thoughts. Ralph Breaks the Internet. I would say amazing movie. Go see it. I think Fantastic Beasts. See it if you're a fan of that kind of thing. Yeah. What's happening? Oh,
I'm just moving this up a little bit.
what? Oh, you're gonna stand
Don't
up,
worry
aren't you?
about
You're gonna stand up.
See that?
And then Creed 2. Definitely go see this movie.
Yeah, I loved Creed 2.
Creed 2 is awesome.
Did you say it didn't get great reviews?
Creed 2? I saw from a few places that it didn't get that great reviews. Mixed reviews almost. Definitely the ones who are positive say it's not as good as the first one. But honestly, I like this movie. I just think, the boxing choreography wasn't as good. That's kind of my only real complaint about it. But I still liked it.
Was it the choreography or the videography of the boxing?
Might have been the videography for it, like how they portray it.
I really want to know how they record those punch shots where like the spit goes flying and it's slow-mo.
Real
and
spit. It's probably real spit.
like that.
Rah, rah, rah. And yeah, Christmas. So we'll be back at the end of the month, or at least I will be. Laura is going to be around for sure. Thanks for joining us on the stream, everyone who tuned in.
We have three viewers right now.
3 whole
I don't know
viewers.
how to see who they are.
That's okay. Let's not be a creep.
Okay.
Yeah, put it away. Put it away. She's so creepy.
So
She's so
bossy.
creepy
So
sometimes.
bossy.
Laura, do you want to sign us out? I'll play the music. How's that sound?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Play the music a little bit. 3, 2, 1. All right.
How do I hear the music?
You can't hear it.
Do you want me to sing it?
Yeah, sing it. Sing when you. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Oh, you're doing Rocky.
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun.
Bye. See you later.